You're on.
Greetings, everyone. Good evening. I am Clinton Mike, first vice chair of Community Board 12. We're here this evening for presentation by Daybreak Independent Services. The date is April 5th, 2023, and the time is 7:06 p.m. Health Services Committee meeting at this time. So, does anybody on the committee have anything they would like to say first, or the chair, Committee Board 12 chair?
Well, just thanking the board members for being here to hear what's coming across our district. Thank you, First Vice Chair, for running this for us.
Someone, the committee members, are they on? I'm not quite sure. I can't really see.
I will check. I'll check for you.
Do we have a quorum?
Clinton, while I'm checking, we can get started with the presentation.
Okay, that's fine. So with that said, we can begin our presentation by Daybreak. Who would be starting? Mr. Loban, would that be you?
Yes, yes, Clinton.
Okay. Well, you can get started. Welcome to Community Board 12, and you can get started whenever you're ready.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. I just want to thank, first of all, the committee board to come and hear our presentation, our intent in Community Board 12. My name is Vilas Loban. I'm the CEO for Daybreak Independent Services. Just a brief about Daybreak is we started 2010. We have day programs in Bronx. We have one group home in Hunt Avenue, one in Queens, and we are expanding to a third one, which is the intention which are putting across the Community Board 12. This house is it's a two-family house. It's at 4244 Vure Avenue, and it's over three beds for 6 individuals, and it's a rental property. It's the leases for 10 years, and this is for individuals which are coming from out of state back to their hometown, Bronx, after their graduation. Right now we have in this team is parents. We have some individuals also, and we have a Daybreak team who is part of this presentation. This home is basically geared 24/7. It's for RDD population, and the routine of the day is basically it's in the morning. They wake up, and by 8:30, 9 o'clock, they go out for their day programs for their activities till 3:30, and then after that they come back home. They have the normal get together, and in the evening they have their recreations, and by 10:30 they are to bed. So that's the whole about the house.
Can you tell us about the population again? I think I missed it.
It's intellectual disability, development disability, IDD populations, such as autism.
It's a what?
Such as autism.
They have developmental disabilities,
Okay.
intellectual disabilities. They function in the moderate range, mild to moderate range of the developmental disability.
Okay, and where are they coming from again?
They're right now living in residential schools. They were placed in the residential schools by their school districts in the Bronx. And upon graduation, they are returning back to the Bronx and to eventually get placed in a group home. They're all age 21, which is when they graduate from the residential schools. but they're originally residents, and they're just returning home to their home district.
Got it. So they've originally have lived in this district.
Yeah,
Correct.
a couple are from Brooklyn, but the majority of them, the rest of them are from the Bronx.
Okay, Clinton, do you have any questions or anyone else on the board?
Madam Chair, I'm wondering who is speaking on that phone line 98? I'm sorry, I didn't get a name. This is Ms.
Corey
Dickerson.
Polshansky.
I'm sorry?
Corey Polshansky. I'm Corey
Thank you.
Polshansky. I work with Velas.
You work with?
Works with
Velas
Daybreak.
and Daybreak.
Okay, thank you. I'm
Hey,
Talene Dickerson. I'm Talene Dickerson.
Hi,
Nice
sir.
to meet you.
How are you?
Hey, this is
We have some hands, some raised hands. We're gonna go with Sherry.
Hi, good evening. These individuals that you have here in the home, how are they going to be supervised if it's six, you said six individuals? Like, are they going to be receiving social services from the community, or like, is there a program that they're going to be going to? And as far as medical, like what type of services will they be receiving?
They would have 24-hour supervision during the daytime on weekdays, Monday to Friday, from approximately 9 to 3. They'll be at a day program where they'll learn vocational skills and work on various independent living skills. But whenever they're in the house, they would have ongoing supervision in the house and in the community. Staff from Daybreak would also take them on medical appointments, all recreational activities, and they'll be supervised both in the community and in the house at all times by Daybreak staff.
so they'll have round the clock supervision, 24-hour supervision.
Yes, including while they're sleeping, there'll be staff in the house who remain awake. So it's around the clock at all times. They'll be supervised. It's what's being proposed is a quote supervised IRA, which requires ongoing supervision at all times.
We have a question from Gina. Can you name the schools in which they are currently in and the referral to independent living facilities? Gina, is that your last part?
Yes, that's correct. It's the schools from which they're currently in, and then the names of the independent living facilities to which they would be referred to, because that's key
I don't think-
information.
I don't think we can do that. I'm sorry. This is
No, they can't do that. No, that can't be
You
done.
can't say the schools
Cannot.
or the living. I didn't
No.
ask for the
No.
name.
No.
So how do people make
No, but-
referrals?
But the referral comes from the Office of People with Developmental Disabilities. So right now they're under the auspices of the State Education Department. At age 21, they become the responsibility of the Office of People with Developmental Disabilities, and that office, OPWDD, is who makes the referrals to Daybreak.
Okay.
Anthony, you have your hand raised?
Yes, I have a question. You said you're going to have around the clock staff. How many staff members are you going to have in the daytime, and how many are you going to have overnight?
Well, do you want to answer that?
Cody can go ahead. I can do that. On the overnight, we have one on each floor. That is 3, and one is a floater in case if there is a situation. And on the daytime, we have the house manager, we have the assistant house manager, we have the shift supervisor. So it's scheduled around the clock, and we have direct support workers to support our individuals. So we are looking at the shifts runs from 6 o'clock in the morning to 4, and then when they come back 2 to 10, and then around the clock 10 to 8.
But how many staff members are you going to have?
So while they're awake,
I'm not talking
staff.
about chefs and cooks. I'm talking about people that's going to monitor the individuals. I'm not talking about chefs and cooks, because
No. There are no chefs and cooks. The direct care staff and the supervisors there'll be a minimum of 2-to-1 staffing ratio. So there'll be a minimum of 3 staff while the individuals are awake, and while they're sleeping, there'll be 2 staff on duty.
Okay, thank you.
And do you have any other questions?
I have another question. As
Okay, hold on
far
one second.
as
Gina,
the
one
report.
second. I was asking Vice Chair, the first Vice
Oh,
Chair.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We'll get to you. Give us a
No.
No?
Beatrice, I'm good. I'm still listening, so she can
Okay.
ask her question.
All right, Gina, go ahead.
Okay, great, perfect. And as far as the medication management, would that be in the evening, extra staffing besides the 2 staffing that you currently said would be on duty in the evening in case there's a medical emergency?
No, those staff are that I mentioned are certified by the nursing department to administer medication. So they go through a training program and are overseen and supervised by nurses who are employed by Daybreak. And they're what's called AMAP certified. They're certified to administer medication. So the staff on duty are CPR certified, first aid certified, also trained in various medical procedures, and also can administer medication under the supervision of the nurse. And there'll be a nurse with approximately 10 hours a week.
With that medication management certificate, would that be insulin as well included in that training, that they have their certification?
Say it again? I'm sorry.
Would that include like the insulin shots as well? Because there's medication management, and then there's one also that would include, like, say, for instance, insulin, if someone had to have an insulin injection as well. So there are 2 different.
Yeah, there are no diabetics, but if someone needed insulin injections, the nurse would train and certify the medication certified staff to administer the insulin. But that's not the case in this house. But if that ever happened in the future where an individual living in the house required insulin, then the nurse would certify the staff to administer the insulin injections.
Okay, we have another question from Talene.
Yes, I don't know if I missed it, but are the residents male or female? Or mixed, or what?
They're all male.
All male, okay, thank you.
Sherry, you had a question? No? Any other questions? I have one last question.
Okay, go ahead.
You sure? Clinton?
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say that they can continue if there were no more questions.
Okay. My question is, in our board, when these kind of, matters arise, we also are curious as to how they're getting acclimated into the community, to be part of the community. As you know, this particular district is lacking resources, right? A lot of our residents have to go externally outside of the community to get the services that they need. So what are you doing to get them adjusted? And I understand that they've lived here before, but what kind of component of the programming will be to get them to be part of the community? Not
We
just
have
live
clinical. We have clinicians who will write goals and plans to get them acclimated into the community, and we also will provide transportation and utilize a mass transit. But with our clinical staff, who will train our direct care staff and develop plans for socialization and to integrate them into the community, there'll be clear directions for our staff to work with the individuals to get them acclimated.
Okay.
Clinical staff are part, in addition to the ongoing supervision provided by the direct care staff and the management staff, there a few days a week, the clinical staff come to the house to work with the individuals, provide counseling, but also to train the staff on the plans that they developed. To address some of the things that you mentioned. also
Okay.
to work on money management skills, communication. They also write public transit safety plans so they could learn how to travel via mass transit and so forth. So there's plans to address all their needs, and everybody's different, and each of the individuals have their own needs. So it's an individualized program and plan that's developed. But the most important thing also is that the clinical staff work with our direct care staff to train them on how to implement the plans, both in the house and in the community.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions?
There are
One
no
of the
more
things I
questions
just
right
want
now.
Hey, let me
Go
say
ahead.
something.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, this is Ursula. So you just need a letter of support from us. That's what you're seeking?
We're seeking approval from the community board. We also want to work with the community and get introduced to the neighbors. So if there's any questions that the neighbors have, any concerns, we could be available and make ourselves accessible so we could immediately answer their questions. So the people who live in the community can have a phone number and an email address so they could contact us so we could respond immediately. We don't want to delay any response to the people who live in the community, and just make sure that they understand, that these individuals, they're harmless. They just want to go about and live in this community and get introduced to the neighbors and become friends. So we want to make sure we establish a relationship with the neighbors, and that's where we would seek your assistance. Perhaps have monthly meetings with the neighborhood, or if that's too much, then quarterly meetings, just so we have an ongoing flow of communication and answer any questions that may come up.
Okay. Do you have a quorum, Clinton?
We don't.
All right. So you got, regardless, it still has to be brought up. You're gonna have to bring it up at our next board meeting, and I will send out the invite for everybody to come for the board meeting, and that's when we'll vote on it.
Carla, you had a question? And Anthony, I'll go to you right after Carla. Carla, we can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I was just a couple of minutes late. I just wanted to check, are you part of the organization that's already there on Vireo Avenue?
Yes, we have a day program at Vireo Avenue.
Right, 4244 Vireo?
4234. Yeah, 4234.
Okay. So I'm just going to share a comment for the rest of my fellow board members that I have observed this organization in the community because I go out walking in the morning and I admire their work a great deal. I've watched them just teaching these young people in the day program how to cross the street. It's not that simple on Katona Avenue. We all know that. So I'm just saying my 2 cents worth. I've observed how they look after the young people currently in their care, and I respect it. So that's all.
Thank you, Carla, for that valuable input.
Yep.
Anthony, you have your hand raised?
Yes. First, I would like to just thank you just for your energy, wanting to actually work with the community because everybody doesn't do that, and I'm thankful for that. So I appreciate that energy right there, and thank you.
Thank you. And I know that Ursula, you sent out a letter earlier to Clinton and I that you all have like signatures of people in the community that are supporting this. So just wanted to share that as well. And as Ursula mentioned, we don't have a quorum to pass it now. And so our board meeting is the 4th Thursday of the month. let me let you know when that is. That'll be April 27th. And we'll make sure that Ursula will be sending you all the information for that.
Thank you, Beatrice. Beatrice, we need to be there, or
You should, to present the way you did. You know, you informed us. And so it's important, right, that you keep informing the full board. We hope to have a quorum then so that we can vote on the letter of support then. Clinton, anything else that we're missing?
No, that's it. I just wasn't sure if they had finished their presentation, but I guess they were finished. We did receive the information today, you know, of the support that you have received from the community. Seems like they're in line with what you guys are trying to do there. I believe the house is on the same, the residence is going to be on the same block as the Daybreak offices, right?
that's right.
So, right, it's all on the same street. Okay, so the community must see your work and they must be pleased with it, which is why you receive this community support. So,
Thank
but
you.
like I said, you probably need to come back to our board meeting on the what is the date? The fourth Thursday is the what?
I forgot already. April 27th.
27 to present it to the full board since we don't have a quorum tonight. So we'd like you to come back on at that time, 7 p.m. And the link will be sent out a little later on in the month.
It's going to be virtual, right?
Virtual, yes, it's virtual.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So with that said, I'm done. I had nothing else.
I just want to thank each and everyone, for their support, and it means a lot to us. And, we are just growing to be part of the community board of 12. So please, I look forward for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so hold on. We need to have a motion. Is that it?
You don't have. Is anybody there from your?
Right. No.
Anybody here from your committee?
No.
All right then. See you tomorrow.
Let me just say good night. Thank you,
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, board members that are on the call. Thank you, non-board members that are on the call. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna stop.
you very
much. I'll stop recording
Thank
now.
you very much.
Okay.
Clinton, do you want to just close out with the time?
I'm gonna come see you tomorrow.
Clinton, do you want to close out with the time so that I can stop recording?
Okay, so the Health Services Committee meeting is adjourned at this time. The time is 7:28 p.m., April 5th, 2023.
Good night.